5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us on another Wednesday night Skol experience. Obviously, we are approaching Super Bowl weekend, and with the Super Bowl comes offseason, and with the offseason comes a lot of Minnesota Vikings content to go through. I mean, obviously, we've already had conversations about some of the stuff. We're here again to talk about just some of the same stuff we brought up, if not more, because since the last time we talked about this, there has been more little rumors. Justin Jefferson talked today. He said some interesting things that we'll get into. Daniil Hunter said a few interesting things. Kirk Cousins talked to the media this last week here. But yeah, big off season up ahead, and I'm excited for the Super Bowl. But at the same time, I'm kind of just excited for it to be done with, so we can get going into this.
Because there's a lot.
Big off season.
Let me do some shout outs here. Our boy Gary in the building. What up, Gary? We got Joey in here. Too Evil. Who am I missing? Am I missing anybody else? No one else put anything in yet. What's going on, everybody? Like you've said before, this year feels probably the most important offseason since 2017, where we were after that year when we went and grabbed Kirk Cousins. And then, I mean, you could probably put 2 years ago when we had to make the coach switch as well. But this year, we have to pay our star wide receiver potentially. We got to figure out what's going to happen with our quarterback, and with all the hype surrounding the idea of us moving up to grab a quarterback. It's going to be an interesting one this year. That's why this show in general is going to be more specifically on kind of how an off-season preview, like what's got to be the first domino to fall and what's going to happen after that. But first, I know it is Super Bowl week, and I know we talked about it on Monday, but I wanted to ask Dave again. What up, Tony, by the way? I wanted to ask Dave again, where are you at with the Super Bowl? I forgot who you even decided you would choose, but have you came down to a decision on who you think's going to win or who you want to win Sunday?
Well, I mean, when it comes down to if both teams have won a Super Bowl, don't care, right? But then I'll go to this. We're more likely to face the 49ers, right? So if the 49ers win, a Trent Williams might retire or get fat, or the free agents might go try to get the bag somewhere else. And since they've won Super Bowls before, I don't care. Go win a Super Bowl, have all your players try to go get the bag somewhere, and that happens a lot. So I'm like, see ya. Win the Super Bowl, get your guys the bag.
Yeah. Right. The only other option is, and this can be a good segue into our first offseason thing, is if they lose and Brock Purdy has a really bad game, the 49ers might need a new quarterback. Hey, we got Rap in the building. Vocal Vike, what up? What up? Sodak's in the building. What's up, Sodak? What has Kwesi done with his team and staff since the season's ended? Man, not a ton yet.
At this point, it's kind of hard to do anything with the team and stuff.
Well, I mean, we kept all our coaches.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Kept the coaches, free agency hasn't started yet, so you really can't do anything there.
Keeping Flores around was easily the priority number one, and he did that. So,
I mean, it's not like
he went to
he didn't have to do anything.
Still,
he interviewed players. Who was it? Josh Cephas, a wide receiver at the East-West Shrine game. So there's things out there. I think that was one bar in Lepidus. Lepidus said that. But, he's out there talking to potential picks, man. That's one thing about Kwesi is he meets with them and talks with them. And
yeah. Well, and that's
I
was just going to say, we're going to dive into the draft stuff later, but that's all I was going to say.
He meets with them, talks with them, and no, for the people that think it, he doesn't just use PFF to draft his players.
Yeah.
I think that whole thing was taken and blown completely out of proportion. If you hate Kwesi, you read that, and you automatically are just going to jump right on him without actually digging into the facts. You're just going to take it at face value, and I saw a lot of it.
And that
it was stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, everybody, just hashtag Skol. We got Jordan Addison Prism rookie card. Get those hashtag Skols in. Like the video if you haven't already. All that good stuff. Subscribe to Minnesota Sports Talk and GG Sports Podcast. So, yeah, I guess we can continue talking about
I might as well say it here. I said it before the show. When will, and I posted today, when will Twitter start actually listening to the words that come out of the player's mouth rather than a random agent or a legacy media guys thinking out loud? When will they actually listen to the players and the coaches and the GMs when they talk about what they want for the Vikings this next season? I think that has a lot more weight than random thoughts and, leaked. Well, there's nothing even being leaked. It's just random thoughts being posted as like it's the law or the rule. And we talked about this last week about the $90,000 or the $90 million. It was, and we couldn't find the article. And it was, remember when and it was, Will Raggett tagged the original dude, and it went to a Minnesota Twins article. So you can't even find the article or anywhere where this guy said this.
Right.
And it went, and it became law on Twitter. So it's let's listen to the players' mouth. The words coming out of these players' mouths and the managers and the coaches, and that's where it's coming from.
Right. Speaking of that, let's jump into this first thing here, and that is so with Kwesi, the first thing you got to do, I think, or at least that's the first thing any of us Viking fans are going to be wondering is what is going to happen with Kirk Cousins. Obviously, I guess,
is he quitting?
What
is he resigning?
Resign.
Missed the hyphen.
Oops, my bad.
Hyphen.
Yeah, wait,
that
wasn't even the worst thing. Actually, you know what? No. We're gonna
handed in his resignation.
I'm not even gonna say what my other mistake on this slideshow is, but if anybody sees it, you can call it out, I guess. But I ain't gonna say it.
I've made the same mistake. I'm just giving you shit. I don't know how many times I put resign.
I spelt something wrong during this, and we'll see.
That's why instead I put extend.
Yeah, I know. I had extend on there, but I'm like, technically, it's not really an extension.
Let me make him quit and hand in his resignation.
But so what are we thinking here, guys? Because obviously you're mentioning. This is the big domino, right? This is the biggest one. It feels like you can't really. What else are we gonna do?
That's what I was gonna say.
Figure that out.
And when we were talking earlier, when I figured out what to say, is like that's what I said to Justin last night. That this is the first domino. You don't know anything until till the 3-day, grace period that they can talk to different players. Because right now, another team can't tell Kirk Cousins we want you.
Right. Yeah.
Why lose that first round draft pick like the Dolphins did talking to Tom Brady? So why would they do that? So we won't know until was March 13th or March 11th or something like that, and then Kirk's $28 million will hit. Mm-hmm. And then if that $28 million hits, I assume he's gone. Yeah. So that's the domino, right? Mid-March.
Right. Because as soon as if he comes back, I think you still got to be aggressive. But if he's gone, you're definitely going to have to be aggressive to go get your guy. You kind of
job's done if you don't hit.
You kind of fall into a desperation mode where it's like you need to trade up, or you can trade back, but you're going to need to be having your ear out there and seeing who would be looking at a JJ McCarthy or who would be looking at a Michael Penix Bo Nix on a lower level. Because the rumor came out months ago that said Jaden Daniels and JJ McCarthy are kind of the two guys I've had their eye on. So if Jaden Daniels goes top 3 and you can't get up there, then I do think at 11, I think it's a good play to trade back, but you don't want to trade back too far to where you're not going to be able to at least secure a guy that you think you could trust going forward. So
my viewpoint on this, and I know there's probably guys in the chat that heard this yesterday, and I tried my darndest to get into draft and free agency. So I think you guys allow me to talk about that stuff. But the first that domino, I had mentioned the fact that if we get to that point and they do re-sign Kirk, we kind of know that Kwesi probably doesn't have the confidence that he's getting up to number 3. And if it does come down to it, if it gets to 4, it gets to 5, we may have a Kirk and we may still be trying to trade up.
Right.
So that's a scenario. But if he has a complete confidence, he's getting up to 3, we may we may not go with Kirk, right? We may not go with Kirk. If he feels like, oh, I think I have the ammunition. I've already talked to number 2 and number 3. I think I can get there. That would be probably the scenario where, hey, I can move on from Kirk. I can go get this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what up?
I don't know if you saw and I don't know. I mean, it was that NFL notifications Twitter page. So I don't really, I guess I'm not 100% sure if it's accurate or not, but there was something that Washington might just trade for Justin Fields and grab Marvin Harrison at 2. I saw that report. Again, don't know if it's true. I haven't seen any other thing to.
It'd be interesting.
Right, exactly. Like if that happens and they make
it's good for us because someone's going to get down to 4.
Yeah, Arizona would then, their phones would be lighting up at that point.
And that's the thing. And God, who can get, there might be a team just like last year that thinks that our picks are going to be too high for them and the other team's picks are going to be better, And
honestly, like a lot of this stuff too, like, I mean, if the Bears just decide, hey, we're going with Caleb Williams at 1, and they put that out into the world, like this is our plan, then Atlanta or a team like Atlanta might come call, or Washington might come call and be like, hey, 2nd round pick for Justin Fields, and we'll take him off your hands. In which, if you're the Bears, I think you do that. And then you're sitting there at Washington, and they can grab Marvin Harrison.
Let's talk about the Bears. They brought their head coach back,
which I thought was strange, personally, but
right. And their defense kind of got better, right? He's a defensive coach. Their defense started to get solidified. They won 7 games, so there was improvement. But him with a quarterback, it's like, am I going to draft Caleb Williams and put him with this guy? It's like, I would think they would go get a different coach, right?
Right.
And then, or even the Lions offensive coordinator, it's like, yeah.
Well, same with they brought in
what do you
what's his
think?
name?
What do you think there, Caleb? No, like 95% sure or what?
I'm not. I don't know. It seems
hard,
it's weird, especially with all the random rumors and who knows if it's real about Caleb Williams not wanting to play there. And I know is it Cleansburg or Queensbury,
Kingsbury,
right?
Kingsbury.
The Arizona's old coach or whatever, and like obviously he coached Caleb
Texas.
Williams as well, and he had an interview with Chicago. Didn't get
Are you
the
talking
job,
about when he was with Arizona State or something like that?
or with Oklahoma? Is that what it was?
I'm confused.
So
Who's Kingsbury now?
He coached him at USC, didn't he?
is that what it
Where's
was?
Kingsbury
Something
now?
Like that. I
don't know.
I don't even know if he ended up going anywhere yet. But
He's with Kingsbury. He's with Washington. Which
Okay.
that was the other part of that rumor that they said if Washington can't get the Bears off of Caleb Williams.
Oh, that's Jaden Daniels. That was Arizona State. I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry.
Yeah,
Actually, though, speaking of that, because I know
there's a rumor about that.
Because there was that article about the coaches and front office people around the league thinks that are looking at the Vikings for a team that can move up. In that same article, they talked about Antonio Pierce, who when he was at Arizona State when Jaden Daniels was there. So they said that's kind of a connection to watch as well, that the Raiders might be interested in.
That's the rumor that I was thinking.
Okay, yeah, and then the one that because mine was they were just saying if now I keep forgetting his name. Until
I did my Spencer Rattler video, which I don't know how that got to almost 1,000 views. But Spencer Rattler, I did not know that he lost his job to Caleb Williams, and then Caleb Williams left the next year with his head coach to USC.
Yep, I didn't know that.
So I did the video.
Cliff Kingsbury.
They lost both Caleb Williams and Spencer Rattler. Mm-hmm. That was crazy.
Yeah. So who knows? So maybe Washington with Kingsbury is going to try to make a play for Caleb Williams. Like, could be. Because that was part of that rumor that if they can't find a way to get up to 1 or get the Bears off of Caleb Williams, that they would make that move. So,
and that's what
it's like. If you think Caleb Williams is the guy, you don't do nothing, right? You stay and pick.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep, I would say so. Because the team will give you some pick. Who knows? Maybe Washington would just be like, hey, second, we'll give you a number 40 or 30, whatever they have, 33, 34 overall to move up and just take Justin Fields off their hands. Which if I'm the Bears, I'm taking that.
Spencer Rattler, best QB in this
and then
draft,
you only move back 1. Like if any rumor, if there's any of those rumors is true that Caleb Williams doesn't want to play there to any extent at all, and you feel good enough about Caleb is from. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I mean, all the signs are there, man. All the signs are there that Washington.
That'd
really
be something, right?
But they're
Is he
gonna have to
tweeting
give,
about? Is he tweeting about wanting to go to like he's tweeting about Vikings players? No.
so you kind of feel like Washington probably will do whatever they can to move up to 1 if I'm Chicago.
Maybe.
Especially if I like May. Like if
Jesus,
if they want Caleb Williams that bad, like you think, like if I'm Washington and I want Caleb Williams that bad, why would Chicago just go a different direction when they don't have to? Like, I don't know. I just and then they end up just grabbing a wide receiver. Like if they want Caleb Williams that bad and it's him or bust, then my guess is Washington will probably do whatever they can to make a trade with them anyways. So
What's the market for?
Yeah, I'm taking a quarterback. What's that?
What do you think the market for Fields is? I think you guys talked about a second or a third or something.
I think they'll definitely get a second. And
I
some
would say
people
a second for sure. I don't think.
Yeah.
I just think if they're dead set on taking Caleb Williams, I just don't, unless they can get a bidding war going. I just don't think a team will be willing to give a first because they know that they're trying to get rid of him. So
Yeah.
I think they would. I think a second round pick would be fair. And if you're Washington and you like that style of quarterback and you don't trust Jaden Daniels, like I absolutely then would make that trade for Justin Fields if you give up your second round pick. Because you're a starting level quarterback who you think hasn't shown his full potential yet at number 2, and you have 2 good receivers there for him already, plus a couple solid-ish running backs. So,
what's your guys' order?
Top for quarterbacks?
For quarterbacks,
Top 3, yeah.
Top 3. Oh,
okay.
Man, Caleb Williams number 1 in my opinion for sure.
I think he's one, but I don't think the gap is as big as you do.
I think it's hard because I think it's a really big gap. I think talent wise and what he can do from an improvising standpoint is ridiculous. The only thing about it is like watching him, he just didn't really play out of the pocket a lot, or like play in the pocket. I guess he doesn't really step up in his throws. He doesn't really see. He looks like he's going to be pretty raw coming in as far as being a pocket passer, which he's going to have to learn how to be. But if you figure out that at all, I think he's going to be heads ahead of anybody else in this draft, in my opinion. But there is a question mark. I do think there's a fair question mark with him. But as far as like, man, if you get, like I said this on, I don't know if it's our last stream, but he's like a guy, like every sack he dodges, he gets like an extra boost in attributes or something, because he just gets better and better when that kind of stuff's going on, which everybody else, like 99% of every quarterback, it's the complete opposite. As soon as those kind of things go down, you'd suck. Right. But it seems like he's like the opposite of what a quarterback usually would be.
Right. And you said, like, and the thing with all these quarterbacks is they all have, I mean, obviously every quarterback's gonna have their issues, but you look at Caleb Williams. It's like sometimes does he try to be a little bit too flashy and just not take what the defense gives him?
Yeah,
sure.
that's definitely.
Drake May has what you want from a size and arm and athleticism standpoint. But Jamie, I think I agree with you. I think he does have a few raw traits that he does need to work on. And then you got Jaden Daniels, who's had one big year. He's kind of the wild, or I guess he had a couple solid years, but he's kind of the wild card in all this.
This was a big.
He really did step up this year. And then you have JJ McCarthy, who played in an offense where they ran the ball a lot. So you don't know, like you see that there's traits that translate well to the NFL. He's just going to need to work on those. Michael Penix, age and injuries, and Bo Nix is age, and this is his big year, and people kind of question, like, was the offense he was in part of the reason for his big year that he had? So that's every one of them has.
I've seen him make more big throws than JJ McCarthy did.
Yeah, the thing with JJ, and we can get into that in a second, though. The thing with JJ McCarthy is, like, that's the one thing I see from Bo Nix is it's very safe. Where JJ McCarthy is actually extending the play with his arm. Like, out of any of these quarterbacks besides Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy is like the only one that is trying to improvise and trying to get out of the pocket. And he's making really nice throws like when he's running to the left. Like, I didn't see that out of any of them. Bo Nix comes off of, who knows, like he does have some talent. He has like a lot of stuff you'd want from, but from watching his stuff, he seems like he's really safe. Like he could end up being good, or he could just be a game manager. And he kind of looks like game manager, where I would say that's why I'm with JJ McCarthy. I'm really going to look forward to see how he does throwing at the combine and pro day. That's going to be the big thing for him, to see if he can actually make those throws. That's going to be big for him, because as far as like commanding the pocket goes and trying to win and putting your team in positions to win and making smart reads and stuff like that, I think he's fantastic at that. So it's really about his arm talent, I think.
I think the one thing for sure with him is he's going to absolutely nail the interview portion of the combine, like with the other quarterbacks. I think he's, because he's kind of got that the mentality you want to see. But yeah, like you said, Jamie, I think if he goes out there and makes all the throws that you see some of these other guys making, and his deep ball looks good and his accuracy looks good, I think that's definitely going to help him. A guy that people are kind of thinking second round to probably potential.
Let me just run this by you.
I think he'll hop. I think if he does throw well, I think he'll hop Penix and Bo Nix.
So tell me if this sounds like a game manager or not a game manager. 364 completions, 470 attempts, 77.4 completion.
I'm talking about watching
4,508 yards, 9.6 average, 45 TDs, and 3 picks for the 188 quarterback rating.
Well, you're talking Jaden Daniels, right?
No, he's talking about Bo Nix.
It's Bo Nix's stats.
Yeah, dude. If you watch him,
but
people
will point out with JJ McCarthy that his stats aren't that good. But like the thing people say is like you got to watch the offense they play.
I mean, I like JJ McCarthy, but
I
tried to get everybody on Twitter to tell me, send me to a tape, send me to a clip, send me to something that tells me like this guy is going to play at the next level. And I agree. I thought I saw like one throw. I saw one play here, and I'm like, I didn't see all the throws. But on all these other quarterbacks, I seen all the throws. So JJ McCarthy for me is, if you really like him, you think he's going to be good eventually. Kind of thing.
It'd be like the project out of those.
I don't even think he's a project. I think he's going to be a pro. I think he's going to be a good quarterback someday. I don't get the hate of Bo Nix. I'm not saying you hate him, but there's a lot of people who do hate him. Like, he's trash, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, that there's nothing that I saw that says to me that guy sucks. Now, in the Senior Bowl, I'm like, they did them a disservice. Every throw they made him throw like short, shallow crossing routes and dump off passes. But the one throw he got on a flea flicker, he threw a dime to that dude with a guy dragging on his arm.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm not taking the Senior Bowl. I'm taking that in stride.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Christian Ponder and Kellen Mond were both Senior Bowl MVPs.
Yeah, right. So I'm not. One thing before we continue going. Hey, everybody in here.
And Penix took himself out of it. So
Jordan he did. Jordan Addison Prism rookie card we're giving away. Get those hashtag Skols in the comments. Like the video and subscribe if you aren't already to GG Sports Podcast and Minnesota Sports Talk. Definitely get those in. This is going to be a nice card, man. It's going to be a nice card.
I would like to see stats like air yards. So this whole idea that people are telling me that, Bo Nix just threw dump off passes and they ran with it. I've seen a lot of nice freaking throws and sideline throws and throwing on the run and improvising. I've seen a lot of that shit. And I'm like, are people seeing the same thing as me? I don't know.
He's out of anybody in here.
He won big games.
Yeah. Oh, and obviously, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, some people talk about him being 23 or older, or whatever. And he was disappointing he was like a 5-star recruit, I think. And he was disappointing up until this year.
I would say he was okay last year.
I mean,
I didn't even look at his.
But he also did lose the 2019 Outback Bowl to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So I mean,
that sets you back. That sets you back. What year was that? 2019.
2019.
His freshman year.
Pre-pandemic. Because I remember they were talking about him during that game and how he was supposed to be like the next big thing in college football at quarterback.
Who's your second and third, Jamie?
So back just Bo Nix real quick is I'm not convinced that he's going to be trash, but I think he could be solid. I don't think he's going to be trash. I think he could be solid, but I think he definitely shows, like watching his tape, it seemed like he kind of just looks like a game manager type of player. Whatever, college people throw tons of touchdowns and stuff. That's why it's hard to really take stats into consideration sometimes, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm not like convinced on what. I don't really know about all these quarterbacks. He's the one that I'm like, I don't really know how it's going to be. Like, I think he could either be a game manager or maybe he does have all the tools. I mean, he was a 5-star recruit for a reason. So who knows for sure. But number 2 for me it was an easy one, but it's easily, I think Jaden Daniels. When I watched, and I guess we'll talk about Drake May. And the reason why even Drake May would be number 3 for me is obviously he has all the intangibles you want from a quarterback, but I don't know, watching him I just felt like he has a lot of happy feet. He didn't look really comfortable in the pocket. He's not really doing a lot of improvising. I see him throwing on a lot of his first reads. He's not really looking around the field. There's a couple times I saw him make really nice plays where he was looking all over the field and he does a little, Caleb Williams thing. So he has all that talent, but it didn't just stick out. And I don't go into that, like not wanting to like Drake May at all. And I don't not like him. And I'm going to believe all the professionals and the people who do this, who think he could be a generational talent, but it didn't like look out to me when I'm watching him like, oh, he's going to come in and start day one and be good. Like, I just didn't get that vibe from him. And so that's the reason why I kind of have Drake May 3, where I've honestly felt like I like the way Jaden Daniels looks in the pocket more than a lot of these guys, including Caleb Williams and all that. Like, he seems like he's learned how to play well within the pocket, and Drake May just seems, I don't know, he seems a little skittish to me. So I'm not sold on Drake May. But obviously he's supposed to be good. I don't know. But so I would put him at number 3 still, because I do think there's a big drop off between them and Bo Nix and Penix and JJ McCarthy. I'm 100% out on Penix. 200% out on Michael Penix. That dude does not move at all from the pocket, and that's nothing to do with his skill. I mean, he has elite arm talent and elite strength and deep accuracy, but I'm done with the quarterback who literally doesn't move outside of the pocket or do anything like that, personally. So I just don't want Michael Penix now. And then you add the idea with his whole knee situation on top of that, and it doesn't mean he can't go to a team and be good eventually, but I do think he 100% is going to need to have a really good offensive line, because we saw it in the national championship. I saw it when I went over some of his game tape stuff, and he definitely starts overthrowing the ball as soon as he gets pressured. So him playing behind one of the better offensive lines in college football, I do think really helped him succeed and get those stats that he did get. Because if he comes here and the pressure is coming on him, and he has kind of a slower throwing motion on top of that, not to mention that it's weird and it's left-handed, which that part doesn't matter as much, but it's kind of slower. So I'm like, it'd be different if he just had like the quickest release and he was able to use his arm. But I'm like, if the pressure's coming, I'm worried about him. So I don't know.
So we got your top 3, and
I wanted all my opinions.
Your unfiltered hate on Bo Nix and Penix.
I don't hate Bo Nix. I don't know on him. Penix, and I don't even hate. I think he has a really talented arm. I'm not convinced that I just don't want him as the Vikings quarterback. I don't want a guy like that, even though I could be wrong. He could be the best quarterback for all I know.
After we read Two Evil's comment here, I got something to say about Penix.
Hey, what up to Evil, our guy with the $5? Let's go. Apparently, Drake May's offensive coordinator was pretty terrible, and what he managed to accomplish was quite remarkable. Trade JJ, sign Wentz. That's another thing about Drake May too, is I just don't really know the offense when you're watching this. I know a lot of people said he was getting pressured all the time, and that can be the difference maker from just going back and watching, everybody's throw in the game. Because a lot of these guys, like even Bo Nix, like I didn't think he had the best pocket presser. He seemed a little nervous back there, and he was throwing off his back foot. Like a lot of these quarterbacks are not stepping up into their throws, which maybe you don't need to these days. I don't know, but a lot of them aren't doing it.
Patrick Mahomes,
including Caleb Williams.
Patrick Mahomes kind of changed how you view quarterbacks, like the ones that like you don't need to step into your throws if you can make some moves, run around, and throw off-platform throws. Like that's kind of the new age way of playing quarterback.
Yeah,
that's
but in the NFL, you got to know how to
Zach
play out of the
Wilson
pocket,
was drafted at number 2 overall the year he was. But when I look at Michael Penix, it kind of hit me on Sunday that like, so a guy with 2 knee injuries, he can. I mean, 2 knee injuries. Big arm, great deep ball accuracy. That's Sam Bradford, right? Like, I mean, I think Penix is probably going to have like a good 5-6 year window where he can be really solid. But I think by the time you get 6-7 years into his career, I do think that knee injury is kind of going to catch up with him, unfortunately. I like Penix. If we took Penix in late second, if we made a move, or like 3rd round, I wouldn't hate it, because then you don't have a ton invested into him and you can still look towards somebody else next year. But I don't know. And with the way our offensive line is, it is just a little bit concerning. But what'd you say, Dave?
Oh, I said, well, who's your 3?
My 3 would be Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. Pretty boring and basic.
You
And
going
I
with
don't
Drake May
think
number 2.
yeah,
I don't blame you. I mean,
I
that dude
don't think
has
the
upside,
drop off is that significant, just because there are some things with Caleb Williams' game that I wonder if it's going to translate to the pros. I think with all these guys, I think they're going to have to get in the right. But like, if you ask me which one isn't going to have to get in like the right coaching situation, I kind of would say Jaden Daniels on that. I think,
which is
because
kind of interesting to say about a guy who's supposed to only be a runner.
Right, because I think with Caleb Williams, you got to get someone kind of like an Andy Reid who can use kind of rein him in and use his skill sets to the best of his ability. Drake May, I think you're gonna have to get a guy who's good at developing quarterbacks and like who can take someone with those raw traits and develop them into a pure passer, and and just let him use his instincts more to move out of the pocket. But Jaden Daniels kind of seems to have a little bit of all that. He seems to be like in like the good mental headspace where he can throw. He likes to throw, but he can also 40 passing touchdowns over almost 4,000 yards and still ran for 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. So
yeah. So Dave,
and then they count sacks against your rushing.
Right, exactly.
And he had 1,200 yards rushing. Right.
So Dave,
Radler was supposed to be the starter. He was a starter over Caleb Williams in Oklahoma.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Spencer Radler won the Elite 11 and on the same Elite 11 that Jaden Daniels was on.
Dang.
Believe it or not.
Well, that's because I was gonna actually. So a couple things for you, Dave. Is
you don't want to hear my three? You don't want to
That's what I was gonna. That's where I was going. I want your 3. I want your 3.
Show.
I want no. I was gonna. I was planning on giving you an extra because I want to know your 3, but I also kind of want to know what you know a little bit more about Radler since you've kind of made a video on him, because I haven't done any. I've watched I paid attention to him because he was a high star. He was like a 5-star recruit.
Spencer Radler expert.
Yeah, and that's what we're about to drop that knowledge. But yeah, I kept an eye on him, and I knew he was a 5-star recruiter, like really highly touted coming out of college.
He was. They did a freaking Netflix documentary or Netflix show on him. He was a 5-star recruit. He was the number 1 overall prospect and going into college. He goes to Oklahoma, sits behind Hurts, gets to start, has a great year as a redshirt freshman, is a Heisman Trophy frontrunner going in the season, and then for some reason couldn't read shit and was terrible, throwing picks and dumb fumbles, and they went to Caleb Williams. And then he transfers.
Yeah. And then he kind of has a better year.
And he won 5 games last year with South Carolina.
And then he won more this year.
This year.
He only won
this
5?
Year. He won 8 last year. He won 5 this year.
Oh, man. So was it earlier in the season? Because I remember he had a run at some point this season.
He had a run, and then he almost beat Clemson. Well, they almost beat Clemson. They lost 16-7, but Clemson didn't score a touchdown, and he threw one. But my top 3, and then I'll add my comments on Spencer Radler. Yeah. I was not a fan of Drake May, but I've warmed up to him, and he's my 3 now. I do like the other 2 more. I like you said, I don't think there's a big gap, but there is a gap. I think there's a gap. So I do like Jaden Daniels, number 1, and Caleb, number 2.
Spicy,
because hell, Justin has him 3, so I have him 2, so I'm a little higher than that. And I think Rap has him 2 also, Caleb Williams.
Yeah, no, in my opinion, I think Caleb Williams has an elite, like never seen before elite trait, and it's like the trait that is the most unlikely to have, and that is to be able to
Be Patrick
Mahomes with more athleticism. Obviously, it's not.
So obviously the traits are there, but they're not the same person, and that's where he loses.
No. And
that's where he loses me to 2 because I feel there's a risk there. And I'm not crying in the stands with his mom. I'm talking about the moping on the sidelines, and I just want to go home and hug my dog. That is an interview right there. You're on national television. They're asking you how you felt about the game. And you're like, I don't know. I just want to go hug my dog right now.
No, Caleb Williams, though.
I want my leader.
Which is, Dave, I'm going to let you can do your Spencer Rattler thing after. One little comment I have to make about Caleb Williams. Me and Jamie were talking before we hopped on here. Like, we don't know if he's going to throw at the combine. If he doesn't, I do think the one thing he's going to need to do is that interview process. He is going to absolutely have to, like, his PR team is going to have to be with him, going through all the certain questions he could be asked. He's going to have to nail those interviews. I think if he does that, I think he'll be the unquestioned number 1 overall pick.
Notice rap. I said I'm not holding the crying in the stands with his mom against him. I'm holding and I don't have Bo Nix ahead of him. I have Bo Nix 4th now. So
Bo Nix. Yeah, I would probably. I think I have
Bo Nix
JJ.
Is that do you think that's crazy?
No, I don't think.
Okay, I feel like it's pretty accurate, and I do think there's a drop off between the top 3 and Bo Nix.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking Bo Nix at 11, but I would take those top 3 at 11, right?
Yeah.
I noticed that you guys you were able to draft Jaden Daniels at 11. I was able to too, but if you put position value at 50%, he goes 3 all the time. He just goes 3 all the time. Yeah. But if you put it to 25%, half the time he gets to me. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we just went with whatever it had us go, and he ended up falling there. But we had it before.
If you have the settings and you leave them the way that they have it. They have it like 25% position value. And if you put it to 50%, the top 3 quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3 every time.
Yeah.
But Spencer Rattler, I finished the apology. My apology video was like, I didn't know who you really were. And I feel like, God, you have a lot of good things.
Right.
You have physical talents, but he is not a good fit for the Minnesota Vikings at all. He is a poor decision maker. Just a poor decision maker. That's all I can say about him, man. But a physically talented dude. He's not nearly as physically talented as Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is an elite runner. He's an elite runner. Right. He's not Michael Vick, but he's as good. He could be as good as Fields running the ball. Yeah. And I think he all the way from high school to now, he was fucking good at throwing the ball. And I like that. I don't think he's a project at all throwing the ball to me, anyways.
Right.
So
way better
than I
than
like Jaden Daniels number 1.
Yeah. And I think, I agree. I was really surprised watching Daniels because I just wasn't expecting that, even though I didn't really pay too close attention like during the regular season, but looking into him, and I mean, still I had the impression like this is like a guy who runs or whatever. And I was really surprised on how well he played out of the pocket and stuff. And he was making every throw. I seen him make every throw. Maybe he overthrows sometimes. Maybe his deep accuracy isn't perfect or whatever. I don't know, whatever people want to say about him, but I think he's
What's next? Talk about Kirk? Put up the slide again.
Oh, by the way, people, if you don't comment about Kirk Cousins, guess what? We won't talk about Kirk Cousins.
Daniels,
we're going to talk about him.
On Daniels.
No, but what were we talking about? What it would be like with that? What was the next slide?
The next slide. Oh yeah, we might as well go into this. So we kind of skipped some slides and went right to the draft.
Yeah,
it is fun to talk about, especially if you want to draft a quarterback this year.
Probably my fault. I didn't pay attention when you showed me the slides.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. So the next slide is.
Oh, there it is.
I'll even let Dave take this one away, I guess, if you want to. But it's the Justin Jefferson extension, and obviously, if there's one thing that kind of was a buzz today, it was his interviews that he did. I guess where you guys at with Justin Jefferson? What do you think is going to happen to him? All this, what do you think he's going to do? What do you think is going to be the reason why he stays based off his comments? How do you feel? What do you think he thinks about Kirk Cousins?
I'll repeat what I said about that off the channel. Is like, I believe more so now that if the Vikings pay him, he'll stay. Based on his interviews today, because he talked more about being compensated for what his value is, than anything about the team and the direction it was going.
Right. True.
My thoughts.
Brown's not
pay
better,
that man his money.
That's what I'm saying. 5 years, 170 mil.
What's the math on that?
I don't know. What's 150?
That's 35 mil a year.
That's probably
it's less than 30. That's less than 35 million a year. That's like 34.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see something like that. Yeah, he's gonna get. I mean, I'd be very surprised to see him go. Another thing, I know people saying, I saw this one too. Why resign JJ when St. Brown is better? I know you're probably trolling.
Yeah,
You're probably
I forgot about that.
But yeah,
I
that's
forgot
something
about that.
because that was straight. That's stupid. Like, I like St. Brown a lot, but you're talking this guy's saying the thing with St. Brown is he's a really good like slot wide receiver type of thing. Stuff JJ can absolutely do, but JJ can just take the top off of defenses and do one-handed crazy catches with his body completely vertical. Like, St. Brown is not doing stuff like that. He's just really good slot type of guy, taking these short passes, run out the catch and stuff like that. So
I love St. Brown. I think he's a great receiver.
He
got screwed out of a Pro Bowl appearance.
He's the second best wide receiver in the division.
Easily.
It's
like a guy. It's like JJ.
To go out of your way as Lions fans,
right under him, and then a gap.
To go out of your way as Lions fans to actually say that, like, it's not even close. JJ or St. Brown is better than JJ. That's just insane. That's just silly.
Yeah, dude. No way. And I like St. Brown a lot, so it's nothing else.
I mean, we all love, and he's a good guy, just like Justin Jefferson. Good family.
Cool the sun god. Come on now.
Yeah, right.
It's funny. His dad actually added the word Saint to the word Brown to make it sound cooler.
Did he really?
Yeah, his dad was a bodybuilder.
Keep the punter, kick the kicker.
Then his brother Equanimous.
Yeah, he basically changed their name to St. Brown to make it sound cooler.
So another thing with the JJ contract would be, obviously this is going to be a situation that a lot of people probably feel might not happen before the draft. Even though me and Casey, we have a $10 bet.
We do, yes.
Right? We have a $10 bet. I'm saying he gets extended before the draft, and Casey says after. But that would happen if it was about the situation more than the money, I'd think. Because it will come quickly whether we're going to pay him or not.
Right.
I don't know. It's going to be weird because he's not a freaking free agent this year either. So it'll be, who knows how that's going to roll out.
What do you think of the trade that what's his name?
Colin Cowherd.
Oh shit.
JJ in a first to move up to, was it?
That's
three.
Oh. Yeah, JJ in a first to move up to 3.
Or 2.
Hell no, that's
2.
crazy.
It was the 3.
Yeah,
because he thought the Patriots.
Bro.
Yeah. The Patriots need a playmaker, so it's a perfect fit. I'm like, the Vikings don't need a playmaker.
Yeah, we're just gonna go trade up quarterback and get rid of the best wide receiver in the NFL in the process. No, that's crazy. I would never do that.
That's putting your rookie quarterback in a terrible spot. Because, like, I like Jordan Addison, but Jordan Addison ain't a number one receiver. Like, I'm sorry, at least at this point in his career, he isn't. So, yeah, no.
I want to see, I want to see him together with a good quarterback. So that's half the reasons why I want, a 2-year extension on Kirk. But I want him to see him together. Just give me a full season with them. Like, Justin Jefferson was being interviewed, and he was asked about. And that was by Sims and what's his name, the Vikings fan that hates. They used to hate Kirk, now loves him.
I don't know who that is.
From
ESPN.
Not from ESPN. He's Sims and Jesus Christ.
Florio?
What's his name?
Mike Florio.
Yeah, Florio and Sims interviewed him, and they were talking. And Justin Jefferson was like, yeah, I would love to have seen what we could have did, man. Because Florio was telling Justin that you guys would be practicing right now if you guys stayed healthy all season. That's how Florio thought it would have went, right? Mm-hmm. And Sims was telling him you were locked for 2,000 yards, all that shit. They're really playing up on him. But yeah, Justin Jefferson was crying. I wish I would have loved to see what we could have did if we both were healthy the whole season.
Yeah,
and I feel the same way. I would have loved to see that. I want to rewind the season and see what those guys would do healthy. And with Jordan Addison, think about it.
Right.
He was leading the league with rookie touchdowns, and it was going to on pace to set an NFL record for rookie touchdowns for a receiver. And Kirk goes down, and what happens? He doesn't get a single touchdown with Dobbs. right? So it's just like off a cliff. But that's the thing. That's what he was talking about with those two guys, is saying what could have happened if we would have just stayed healthy. It would have been something to see. And I kind of feel that way. It would have been pretty cool. I don't know if we've been practicing for the Super Bowl, but
right.
So
obviously, we would have had a solid team around us.
Because our defense did kind of shit the bed at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't watch the interview. So like when he said break the bank, is he kind of like?
So the interviewer was like joking around saying, break the, you're gonna break the bank, and he got into it and like, yeah, breaking the bank, and it was past it. He wasn't. He went on just to talk about how he just like to get paid for the value that he put out on the field, and and he did talk about the Vikings and wanting to be here.
Yeah.
So,
and it just and that's like when he said that the Vikings just need, like, they know what to do to keep me around or whatever. That was like the only thing where I was like,
he's got 1 year left on his contract.
Right. And he could, like, someone said he technically could get, who was it? He could get franchise tag. I think it's Joey.
Yeah.
You can.
Obviously,
I don't think it'll get to that point, but
no, just because obviously at that point he's going to be, it'll be ugly if it gets to that.
I feel more so now that he's willing to stay regardless of what happens at quarterback, because of just the way he talked about getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and my team or whatever, and they're working on it. It's frustrating. The Vikings are going to do the right thing. It seemed more weighted towards, if I get paid respectively, I'll be here. And I feel more so now that he's more willing to stay regardless of the situation.
Yeah. Hey, Purple Papa, the only problem with him is he doesn't know, he has like no athleticism, or at least from like getting out of the pocket. So unless you're cool with having a Sam Bradford 2.0, that's what you're getting in Penix.
I mean, I think he's going to be better than Bradford. Bradford
is more mobile than Bradford.
He's more, but I'm telling you, I watched like 3 of his games every snap, and I didn't see other than like the call rushes he was doing, I didn't see any sort of movement.
I mean, they trusted him to rush the ball, and he's not mobile.
They did. Well, they did. We saw that a couple times.
I would have left out I watched 3 games of his. I watched 3.
Well, I went into more than that, but like 3 games, every pass, every throw. You can't tell me. Well, I mean, how much more did I need to see? You watched 3 games and you didn't see one time of him getting bull rush and moving out of the pocket? No.
You gotta watch more than 3 games, my man.
What are you talking about? What do you think? Game number 4, all of a sudden you to see him looking like Jaden Daniels?
Well, maybe that game he did get bull.
11 game season, you might see a little bit more.
How much more do I need to? How much? I don't.
You're judging someone off 3 games. That's not. It's not a.
Penix
is
elite.
I want
evaluator hat off.
Hey, someone had Penix.
And this doesn't even include watching the national championship and the game before.
Who had Penix 3 up here? Someone said it.
Yeah, that was Purple Papa. He's a big Penix guy.
I
like what Penix.
Sorry, Purple Papa. Jamie hates Penix.
I don't hate Penix, but I'm telling you guys,
I like
unless you guys want a statue quarterback, which is fine. It doesn't mean Penix will be bad, but I'm telling you right now, he's a statue.
So I could go back and find the 3 games where JJ McCarthy threw for 80 yards and be like, this guy can't throw the ball. I watched 3 games. That's all I need to see. He can't throw the ball. I saw 3 games.
Why don't they trust him to throw? Don't they know something we don't?
I could watch 3 games where he threw for 80 yards and be like, well, he can't throw the football. They're only letting him.
All right. So how many games did you watch of all these quarterbacks that you're putting in your opinions?
I'm not out here saying like
there's a lot.
He's terrible. He's awful.
There's a lot of difference. I'll watch that Indiana game, which I think I did. I think that was one of them, by the way, Dylan. I'll watch that Indiana game, but it's different than throwing the ball, like whether you run or not, ever. Like I seen him I didn't see any times where he was like getting out of the pocket. Honestly, I've been doing highlight reels of defenders, and these guys are going after Penix, and Penix isn't able to get away from him getting sacked. I have right now, if you go into our mock drafts, I bet you could pick 3 defenders I've picked out of there that has a sack on Penix.
3 defenders in 3 games. That's all we need to see. I'm kidding.
Hey, if anybody wants to come out there and prove me wrong, go find me some stuff with Penix
Watch the rest of his. Watch the other 7 games this season. Maybe you'll see a little bit.
Yeah.
The other day I was talking about Newton, the cornerback out of Clemson, and Johnny Football says ball skills. You need to scout the team, or you need to scout the player, not the helmet. And I'm like, I go to his highlight reel, find a ball where he jumps in front and catches with his hands and tiptoes on the sidelines. And I texted him and I say ball skills to give him an example of like this guy showed ball skills. I wasn't lying. You had something. All right. So now I'm gonna go and look for Penix scrambling all over the field.
Do it. I want everybody to do it. I'm gonna go and watch Indiana, like Dylan said, and I'll come back next week and I'll tell you if I feel like he's not a statue.
I feel challenged. Let's find Michael Penix. Now I'm a big Penix fan. I almost
want to do it. I want to look it up. Do it. If anyone, I want to be proven wrong here, 100%. That dude has shown the ability to move outside the pocket when pressure is coming at him. He definitely didn't show that in the national championship. He for sure didn't in both those games. He showed not the national championship. He was a little off, but don't get me wrong. Like that dude has nice.
Look at that pocket awareness.
And he might have some decent pocket awareness, but if the pressure's coming, he ain't going to be escaping it. That's for sure. I'm telling you. I'll watch that Indiana game.
The one thing that my dad did say though, and he's kind of right about this, is you didn't see a lot of like that team didn't throw a lot of crossing routes. So like you don't get to see how he is on like those shorter throws where you got to throw with timing and precision. So that's also a good point.
Well, his throw is his throw just looks kind of slow.
Right.
And if the pass rush is
he does kind of have the Phillip Rivers like shot put kind of motion too. Not quite like that, but he does have that kind of type of look when he throws. But that's the thing. I do still need to go watch more. But my dad said that too. He's like, I'm watching him in the national championship game. All he does is throw deep. He doesn't really. He's like, from what I saw from those 2 games, he doesn't really throw deep. He just throws he throws deep. He doesn't throw like those quick slants and timing routes and stuff. He's like, once he throws some of those and I see him do well at those, I'll be a little better.
Yeah, I just don't want a guy that it's either sack or, I mean, it could be a good throw, or just like a sack. Like right now I'm looking at some of this Indiana stuff and I'm not seeing him just using his legs to extend plays. That's all I'm saying. Sam Bradford is like a very extreme.
My thing was Sam Bradford in like 5 years after those knees really start to.
Yeah, I think that's extreme, very extreme. But I'm just like, you're talking about a guy that just has amazing arm talent, and Sam Bradford's like as legit as a statue as it gets. But he still was good when the pocket was clean. That dude balled out, right? But yeah, I don't know. I just don't want that from my quarterback. It has nothing to do with Penix. I just don't personally want a quarterback that can't use his legs to escape, because that's what we've just dealt with for the last 6 years. So, and not just that, but other ones as well. I don't know. It doesn't mean
I like my quarterbacks that can throw the ball.
Well, I like that too, but I like to have more than that.
Throw the ball. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Which he does, but I'm a little worried about the pressure thing.
Oh, geez, this is one.
The national championship game, the overthrows with the pressure it was a concern, like
right,
for sure.
So there's a couple things for me watching him. It was the throws, and of course, like I watched at least 3, like 4, 5, 6, 7 games of him. Whatever.
There you go.
I watched like a few games of him. I did. All right, but I mean, I'm not a scout out here. There's a lot of players to watch. It doesn't take me that long to be like, this isn't the quarterback I want. Some guys said if I did like him, I watched more games. That was pretty much what it was. That's all I needed to see from him to be like, Did you get one here?
I found one. Here we go. Look at that. Go, 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 go. Go, go, gadget legs. Look at this throw.
All right, there's one.
There's one.
That's it. I've seen one play.
All right, never mind. Big Penix at 11. Let's go, Michael Penix. Go. Let's go.
11.
Hey, that was actually pretty impressive.
That
I
was
like
pretty
that.
good.
That makes me a
That was
little
a hell of a
happier.
throw.
That was.
On the
I mean,
run.
there's no question that
Go ahead.
that his arm talent is it literally could be a massive difference
Right.
of him being really good.
But then also us as a fan, if he's doing that in purple, we're sitting there like, no, don't hurt your knee, because that is going to be the big concern. Like if he does that too many times, you got to worry about one bad step and that knee goes the wrong way.
The players are, yeah,
It's a
and that's
pick
the
in
thing
the
about
pros.
him is he's not a total statue, but he's obviously not a guy that's going to use his athleticism to create what's it called, plays, to create plays with his arm or his legs. But no, I forgot what I was gonna say with that. I forgot what I was gonna say with that. Something about maybe his arm being good. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm not a huge Penix guy, obviously. I like him. I like his arm, but I want our quarterback to have a little bit mobility. And there is pretty much the other, even including Bo Nix, they all can do that. So we good.
The only thing I don't like about Penix, well, I'm kidding. The one thing that bothers me the most about Penix, other than having two knees, is he throws left-handed, and it's annoying to watch left-handed football.
Annoying to watch.
That's the only reason. It bothers me to watch people throw the ball left-handed.
It does throw. I ain't gonna lie, it does throw you out. I wouldn't. Obviously, you don't like that. Wouldn't be the difference maker.
I'm like, how do you do that? Because you feel like, God, I can't do it. Like I can't throw left.
Dude, his is like I like. I mean, his
one-
throwing motion is like throwing a freaking fastball.
For once, I agree with you on something. The Vikings do need Sweat. I do like Devondre Sweat.
What was his? What was I saw
You're
some
talking about
highlights
me?
of him and I actually saw him get absolutely. I saw him beat some people up, but there's one play where he got absolutely wrecked in the Senior Bowl. Like one guy destroyed him. It looked like, what was the video? I'm trying to think. Wasn't there? I know Bradbury got destroyed. There, it was. There was a video during the offseason, I think, of our boy Darren destroying
last year.
somebody. Yeah. And it was just one-on-one drills, but Sweat.
Yeah, Bradbury got beat, and then later in the game, he pancaked the dude.
But no one showed that.
Bradbury in a team drill. It was on guy didn't know it was coming, but he got him back.
Yeah. I do want Sweat though. It'll be interesting. I have a feeling he's gonna end up going in like the first round with all the hype he's getting. Who knows? It's
So
fan hype. But
I know you said. Did you tell him you agree with him?
No, I told Too Evil.
Oh, because I literally did a post of putting Sweat as our nose tackle and the defense I'd like to see on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you'd be. I mean, he's been going late second, right? In the PFF mock draft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna last that long, though.
Dude, if
he was that third rounder at first.
Skip quarterback, double up, Texas tackles, Byron Murphy, Devondre Sweat, rebuild the Williams wall with two guys from Texas. All in. We don't need offense. Just play defense. JJ will throw the ball to himself. Be great.
Isn't that Alabama Dallas? What's his last name?
Dallas Turner.
That's
not like Dallas Turner.
Isn't he known as a dirty player?
That's what Mateo says. Yeah, I haven't watched enough to really know, but that is the rumor.
Hey, I remember hearing something about that.
Appreciate it, man.
Skol Mafia, great vibes tonight, guys. Let's go. Appreciate you, Skol Mafia. This is still gonna be my favorite.
This is for you, Skol Mafia.
We appreciate it, Steve. We try to be.
Appreciate you, Steve. Yeah, for real. Yeah. Anyways, so we talked about Justin Jefferson and then got back onto quarterbacks, dude. So I don't know. It's just a thing. I mean, I think every person on all their podcasts is going to come down to these quarterbacks because.
Well, there's the Boston College guy that's actually bigger than Dallas Turner and longer. He's 6'4". So Dallas Turner's like 6'2" or something.
Is that what project? Was that guy projected?
It's about the same. Like those are like flip flop. If you go look at the when you do your mock draft, you'll see them both. Most of the time, you'll see them both still there.
They have Dallas Turner falling. Like there was kind of Turner or Verse, and now those mocks, who really knows how that works? But those mocks kind of have Verse above Turner now.
Yeah, Joey, I've been seeing that JPJ has been flying up. I think I saw. Did I see? I think I saw Purple for the Win do a mock draft where someone took him like late first. Like he is cruising up the draft boards.
Who?
Mhm.
That the center out of, I believe he's out of a center out of Oregon.
Yeah.
The guy that made Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Oh, that center from Michigan's going late.
Yeah. Yep. Steve, my dad's had that helmet for years, and I took it when I moved here. And now it's part of the backdrop.
That was his bait. That was him. He has a picture of him in his crib wearing that.
Wearing the helmet?
That'd be
No, not
sick.
so much.
That'd be
wish.
sick.
I wish.
Just a picture of a baby pic with that helmet on right above it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty pretty.
My son wearing a.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Oh, I know. I need to get some. I can't wait till I can like make my background look better. But anyway, so let's come back to our little slideshow here. That we were. Oh wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. Have to add it back. So we got through Kirk Cousins. I guess we can do some of these. Daniil Hunter, obviously, I think he's a guy like right now, according to NFL.com, he's like the 11th ranked defensive end, like behind a lot of guys. I think he's behind Brian Burns, even, I believe. Just guys I didn't think he would be behind as far as their rankings go. But I think for sure, if we can keep Hunter around, I think we definitely should.
Just to be clear in the chat, he has a no tag clause in his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Some
so he
people
can
think, well, we
leave.
can just tag him. No,
But he does like I remember. Me and you, Dave. Right? We went on your channel because someone was saying that he's selfish and stuff. Right? We did a.
Oh yeah,
reaction
we did
video.
that. Yeah, that dude thinks he knows shit.
Right.
Did
Daniil
a
Hunter has been like
TikTok
the most
about how selfish Daniil Hunter is.
And honestly, like I think he really wants to come back for a Vikings if he can. But I do, out of anybody on this team, I think he should go and get as much money as he can because that dude deserves it at this
The
point.
interview he did recently, he sounded all about the bag though.
Yeah. Yep. He said he's basically
He
going
should
to
though. He should. He took enough.
Absolutely.
We're gonna look at we're gonna look for the best deal. I think he said.
And I think that's he's been getting jerked around so much on these 1 year. I mean, I get the injuries were a concern for a couple of years, but like these.
Right.
First off, like that first contract he signed that thing way too early. Spielman fell right into Spielman's trap, and then the injuries and then the 1 year prove it deals and stuff. I think like this is probably going to be his shot at his biggest contract of his life. So I don't same thing with Kirk Cousins. I don't blame either of them for wanting to go and get as much as they can for their value. Like
dudes
Daniil,
showing up in Formula One race cars. Remember that car he drove up to the stadium with?
Yeah. So I think because even if Daniil comes back, I still think edge rusher is a position to look at coming into the draft. Because I mean, you got DJ Wanham, who's not under contract first off, but he's coming off the quad. So I do think he'll be back on I think he'll be back on another prove it type deal.
If
but
anything,
injury, who really knows? You know,
you could get him pretty good on a 1 year prove it deal. I would think, but I don't want him to be the full-time starter.
Right, exactly. I think he really succeeded this year because it was his first like full season getting to play with Daniil Hunter. Like I think that's really and in a better defense that wasn't the Donatel defense. Like under Flores,
I do have a lot more. I do have a lot more respect for him.
Right?
Same.
Yeah.
Same. But it's not obviously.
He's always been a good guy, but I mean, his skill, I have a lot more
Right.
respect for him now.
He's not like an obvious, like right now, like obviously we could get him back at a good deal. We need the depth bad. I would take that for sure. But obviously at the same time, you're not like, this is going to be the different, like if we lose Hunter, we're not feeling great having Wanham as our like top defensive end going in or something.
And then at that
or
point,
outside linebacker.
And at that point, it's tough because then if you're going to trade up, you're giving, and that's why I said if we do trade up, I'm looking to give away as much draft capital in the future because this year, I mean, especially if Daniil leaves, you need to find a way to get an edge rusher and a guy on your and a big guy on your defensive line.
And
so
hopefully, my premonition of that. Who's the UDFA we got from Army?
Andre Carter.
Andre Carter, the second, right?
Yep.
A year in the off season of working out as a NFL player is, I feel like there's going to be a big jump for this guy. It's kind of one of those things that I cross my fingers that this is a guy that could step up and solve a big problem for us. You know what I'm saying? That'd be, I'm not holding my breath. I mean, the dude's 6'5". He easily could put on 20 more pounds. I just think he's potentially could be, a guy that will be in the mix.
The only thing with Hunter, and I think it'll be interesting to just see what our cap situation's looking like. That's another thing here, and that's one thing that I would bring up next is just other roster moves. Obviously, Harrison Smith is on here because it's the most obvious. I think if we cut him, we save like 11 million or whatever. Obviously, you got to make that decision now because he's not worth $11 million a year anyways. Not even like he's not even close. I mean, I'm assuming he would make like what, 4 million or something. So I'm assuming we're going to go on from him, but is there any other guys that you guys think of or like free agents? I know you kind of brought up one of them already, but other free agents that you know
like,
of.
do
that
we
you'd maybe
move
bring
on
back?
from Hicks? And
I would like to bring Hicks back. I
want him back because of the run game, right? We need a guy in there because I'm not trusting Asamoah to fill holes. But Hicks is the only guy, and he came off a really good season. But if you're trying to save money, if you got a Hunter and you're trying to save money, do you bring back one of them? Do you bring back Hicks? You know, and you just try to fix that with the draft. And one of those situations and these were the scenarios I tried to go through last night, but I just some reason couldn't get to it. Is like if you're sitting at 11 and the top 3 guys are gone, you could trade down and pick up picks and still take JJ McCarthy in the first round.
Yep, for sure.
Or you could pick defense and then move up to try to take JJ McCarthy. I think this might be a situation where somebody loves him and he might go mid first round, right? So do we trade down too far? But you could literally trade down, take the quarterback you want, JJ McCarthy. Someone said to me, don't fool around. If you like the guy, take him at 11. But JJ McCarthy at 11, I get Christian Ponder vibes. I'm gonna puke if we're taking a guy at 11.
Unless he really, really impresses at the combine.
Unless he's like the shit in the combine.
And the thing with him is it feels like unless he really impresses, it just feels like a guy that you for sure would want to sit for a year or at least like in the beginning for sure. And then eventually maybe he takes over midseason. Yeah. And I'm like, you don't really pick those guys. Have
Gardner Minshew mentor him a little bit. And
yes, exactly.
Gardner Minshew or
everybody loves come in and teach him a few things. But so you trade back and you take your quarterback, and now you got a second, you got a third, and you could take a D tackle, you could take a edge rusher, you could take some pieces after you've taken your quarterback in the first round, or vice versa. You take that elite edge rusher, then you take that, and then you move up. And if you think 5 years, that's the thing. Depending on what quarterback you take, would you and Justin made this point, not me, that if you sign Kirk for 3 years, you probably want that 5th year. But at 2 years, I don't really care about that 5th year. You know what I'm saying? Because that 5th year is expensive.
Right. Yeah.
It's expensive, so you might as well extend the guy. You're gonna extend the guy anyways if you like him.
Right. And assuming that's what you would want anyways. But yeah, I know it is.
And now it's kind of like fully guaranteed for at some point, right? So it's not like you can cut them and you're not going to pay anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Because
I think you said that, right?
Guaranteed for injury.
Something
now
like
it's
that.
fully guaranteed, or it's fully guaranteed.
Yeah. So now it's almost like a detriment. You got to hit on that guy, right? If you're going to,
we find ourselves an HOF quarterback, and we will.
Yeah, we just need that first quarterback first.
We have never taken a top 10 quarterback in the history of our franchise. In the top 10 picks.
Right. That's why I'm like, it's time to at least give it a shot, Because we were talking about this earlier, like Patrick Mahomes was top 10, Josh Allen was top 10, Joe Burrow's top 10, Trevor Lawrence top 10, Justin Herbert's top 10. Like all these guys are top. Brock Purdy obviously wasn't. There's definitely ones that aren't top 10, but I'm like, there's a lot of them that are top 10. So it's like, why do you not even take a chance through your franchise history to go grab a top 10 quarterback? And then
because we're the 6th winningest franchise in history, we don't often get to draft there.
Oh yeah, I know. That is true. We never get a. We don't really ever.
We actually traded down one spot and took Matt Khalil. Got a 3rd round pick out of it.
What was our situation there? Because I forget who was our quarterback that year.
That was Christian Ponder still.
Ponder.
That was Christian, and
'Cause-
that's
yeah,
the reason
'cause
why
that
Christian
was-
Ponder just
Ponder
holding
fucked us
back.
over so many
That
times.
was-
And that could happen again this
I
year.
wonder who was
That's
available.
it.
I'm gonna go look at that draft.
Well, no, yeah, because that was Andrew Luck, RG3. We were at 3. We were at 3 and traded down to 4 because Cleveland wanted to come up and
We
take
could have took
Trent
Kirk Cousins.
Richardson. They took Trent Richardson at 3, and we took Khalil at 4, then traded back up and took Harrison Smith end of the first.
Which
we
that's
could have
a
took
really
Trent Richardson.
that draft wasn't
Damn
that the draft that was just it was stat. I think it was stat. No, it was Christian Ponder's draft, right? Christian Ponder's
Christian
draft was-
Ponder,
Christian
it
Ponder's
was-
draft was a bunch of
stacked.
has-beens. It was
I
Cam
thought that-
Newton.
No, I mean outside the
It's Cam
quarterback.
Newton, and then we took Ponder.
No, I
And then,
mean
like-
all the quarter like Jake Locker wasn't from that one. Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine
I
Gabbert,
think.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
it was like
redheaded,
crash for quarterbacks, but all the
What's his
other-
ass was taken in the second round? Andy Dalton.
Oh, Jamie, that was JJ Watt Von Miller, I think, that draft, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Donald maybe.
JJ Watt. I did look at this.
Is that
so
what it was? Yeah, it was like all the other positional players, or not positional, but other players besides.
was a bad
quarterback.
quarterback
It was
draft.
it was a terrible quarterback.
It was
but
supposed
like
to be
all
good.
the other
Andy
positions
Dalton and
smacked.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, it was, but that's the thing. It was supposed to be a good quarterback draft. That was the thing. Like they came into it, like
Right,
Blaine
it
Gabbert was
was.
supposed to be number 2 overall,
Right.
which was
Yeah,
nuts.
it was supposed to be one of the best. Well, I mean, with
And then,
all the
yeah, who
quarterbacks
was-
that got picked, they would have
Jamie, who
considered
was
it
the
one
guy
of the
you
better
said-
as far as.
Who was the guy you said that went to
Eddie.
Tennessee? Then he got hurt and he retired early.
Who? Ryan Mallett?
No, you said his name. He went to
Jake Locker.
Jake Locker. Yeah. Because the Vikings wanted Jake Locker. I remember.
Yeah.
Then he got taken before we could.
Yeah, and he was a bust.
Either
too.
way,
All
we
of
were
them.
gonna
Cam
miss
Newton
on
was
He
good.
quarterback.
got hurt. Yeah.
We were 100% gonna miss on the quarterback that draft.
Cam
Right.
Newton was in the first. Yeah. So, and that's the reality is like
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a real.
Kaepernick got taken before Ponder.
There's definitely a chance we
think.
go grab a guy this year and he sucks and it screws us for the next 5 years or whatever.
Right.
But you got
But
to
it-
take that chance sometimes.
Right,
And
but,
I'd
I
like
mean,
to do it in the
but that-
top 10.
I'm okay with taking a chance, but a reach like that though is what I'm.
Yeah.
worried about.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that's like we can't take a first round pick. Look at Ponder. I'm not like that. I'm just like I don't want the same Ponder situation where you're like, fuck, we don't have a quarterback.
And we're in that
that guy.
situation. We're in
Right.
that situation right now at 11.
Well, I
but
know,
think
but I
there's-
mean,
Yeah, we are.
They can't trade though. If they decide to sit there and not try to make a move.
Unless
but-
you
and
really
when we
feel
took
like-
Ponder, I was like, who?
Same. Me and my brother were just like
I was like, who?
that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not missing out. Yeah, I don't.
He literally can. Kwesi literally cannot miss out this year because
No.
that's.
I mean, this is
Not
it. This
good.
this is the difference. That's why he should go grab his guy, because if that guy works out, that dude has a job for a while, and if he doesn't, well, it's just gonna end up in the same direction it might anyways, unless he hits somewhere else. But
This is how it went: Cam Newton, Von Miller,
yeah, Von
Marcel
Miller.
Darius,
So-
AJ
he's definitely
Green,
solid.
AJ, ooh,
That guy's
Patrick
pretty good.
Peterson,
That guy was
number
pretty
5,
good.
Julio Jones,
That guy was pretty good.
Alden Smith,
That guy was pretty good.
he
He was
and
so
he
crazy.
went off the
number
deep
8,
end.
Yeah.
Jake Locker,
Yep.
Yeah, not very good.
Washington, Tyron Smith,
He was good.
Off-
Offensive tackle. I
Yep.
think he still
Yep.
plays, right?
number
Oh,
10,
yeah, boys.
Blaine Gabbert,
Yep.
Trash.
JJ Watt went 11.
Yeah, 11.
Oh man, that would have been
Dude.
something. Christian
then-
Ponder 12. Oh, this one, Nick Fairley. Remember him?
Yeah, he didn't turn out, I don't think, right?
No, he didn't.
No.
What position?
But
did
I
he play? Was he a
remember
tackle?
wanting him
Was he a tackle?
or thinking
I think it was
highly of him.
defensive tackle, right?
He was this big ass defensive tackle that was
Yeah.
blocking all those field goals.
Yeah.
Mike Pouncey. Oh, Robert Quinn, Mike Pouncey, Ryan Kerrigan,
Mm-hmm.
Nate Solder, Corey Lugitt, Prince Amakamura.
Corey legit.
That
I think
didn't go
his name
well.
was. I think
Oh,
I
that
think
didn't
you
go
pronounce his name legit because everybody remember that. Because
Oh,
everyone was saying
legit.
that.
Whatever. Corey legit.
Or legit or something like that.
Legit. Adrian Clay or Prince Amakamura. I don't think he did good, did he?
Not
Adrian
really.
Claiborne, Philip Taylor, Anthony Costanzo, Danny Watkins, Cameron Jordan, James Carpenter, John Baldwin, Jimmy Smith, Mark Ingram, Gabe
about all of
Karimi,
Probably not.
Muhammad Wilkerson, Cameron Hayward, and Derek Sherrod.
Hayward was good. I think he's still playing, right? Cam
A lot of
Hayward?
good, a lot of elite
Uh,
receivers
yeah,
and
in that-
defenders.
Yeah, that was a good receiver draft,
in that
wasn't
top in that top 12, just like elite filled with elite players in between, pretty much.
it? And then we got Ponder.
And then we got fucking Ponder. Yep, and it screwed us. And then we had top 10. We had picks in the top 10, top 5, and we couldn't use them on a
And
quarterback
because we
were.
picked Ponder, let's see what the next year's draft was.
I bet you there's going to be so many in there. Andrew Luck probably.
Well,
when did
well,
Andrew Luck come out? I bet you
No,
that's
no.
what it was. Next draft was Andrew
Yeah, it
Luck.
was. Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what we picked it. We picked it 3 that year because that's what people were saying. Like if the Vikings
Oh,
lose out, do
yeah.
they give up
Oh,
on
yeah.
Ponder already and take Andrew Luck?
Which obviously he was going to go number 1 overall, but
right,
obviously we
yeah.
could have traded up, even though he would have left us anyways. But
Yeah,
because the
was the next year.
we were tossing like what Curtis Painter and one other guy out there that year, and they won like one game or some shit.
Yeah, he was getting eaten up, and then they used the first round pick to go get Trent Richardson instead of using that on like blocking help.
So we picked 4. So we dropped from 3 to 4 and got a third round, I think.
Yep.
Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin III, Trent Richardson, Matt Khalil.
Look good at the time.
And Justin Blackman.
Yeah, that guy was a career.
That was one
loss,
hell of
man.
a 3-player stretch.
Yeah.
But Blackman would have been fucking good if he wasn't such a nutcase.
Because like, weren't we also
Morris Claiborne.
Yep, he was the other
Mark
guy
Barron, Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, Mark
Luke Kuechly. Luke
Kuechly,
Kuechly, man.
Yeah, Luke Kuechly was good.
Harry
thought he was a reach at the time.
Harry was the steal of this draft.
Stephon Gilmore, he was good, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Dontre Poe, Fletcher Cox.
Poe is solid.
Oh, here's the guys that are still playing: Ryan Tannehill, Stephon Gilmore, Fletcher Cox, Michael Floyd was a receiver. He just we had him for a season, right?
Bust.
Bruce Irvin is still playing.
Mm-hmm.
Melvin Ingram still playing. Chandler Jones, Riley Reif.
Boom.
Oh yeah, he was our left tackle.
Yep.
Kevin Zeitler, Harrison Smith.
Hey, let's go. I remember it was like Mark Barron versus Harrison Smith. It was like the safety battle. And then Harrison Smith won that one.
This was not, I don't think this was a deep draft. This was not a deep draft.
No, it doesn't.
We hit on the freaking steal of the draft though.
Well, because Andrew Luck.
Bobby Wagner, second round.
Yeah. Because Andrew Luck and RG3 really Andrew Luck lasted a little longer, but RG3 fizzled out fast.
Well, he had his. I mean, he looked. He arguably had the best.
And here's some guys that are still in the league: Brian Anger, Russell Wilson, Demario Davis, Kirk Cousins, big win there, 4th round, and Josh Norman, Randy Bullock is the kicker, Justin Bethel, defensive back.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Josh Norman? He was the one that had like one
Kelvin
huge year.
248 overall.
Norman's the Panthers who had
remember he had one huge year, then he just was garbage.
He got paid. He went and got paid. I forgot by who. Maybe it was Washington. I think so.
And he was awful.
And then he just
terrible.
It kind of reminds you of like Butler. Was it Butler? Who's the cornerback that got the big interception?
Malcolm Butler. Yep.
Malcolm Butler, and then he just gets paid. And then
play.
Yeah, like one play you get paid. I mean, you win a Super Bowl. I'm sure they're not too mad, but still.
Right.
Yeah.
But
same thing happened with that the guy that picked off the Steelers twice. Was that the Butler? Is that who you're talking about?
No, he picked off Russell Wilson in the end zone
instead of running.
Okay, but there was a guy that picked off O'Donnell twice and won the Super Bowl, and he got huge payday for the Cowboys. I remember that.
Yeah,
that's before my time.
Yeah, that draft is basically Andrew Luck and
Harrison
Luke
Smith.
Kuechly
and Harrison Smith,
Russell Wilson,
Fletcher Cox,
Russell Wilson,
and Harrison Smith. You gotta talk about the boy Harry. You gotta talk
Harrison Smith too. Wasn't too bad.
Harrison Smith was an absolute stud, bro. Obviously, I love Harrison Smith. He's probably my favorite defender of all time. Only because I didn't get to see a lot of defenders. We were just talking about where Jared Allen was kind of like the first
like
great
pass rusher we got to watch.
We got to watch. Yeah,
Trent Richardson made it to 2014.
I mean, I remember Trent Richardson's shining moment was the picture where he's playing for the Raiders and he runs to the right and there's like a gaping hole open to his left and you could tell he's going.
Dude, and that dude was so hyped coming in too. That's crazy.
I remember the Browns. The Browns traded him, right? And we played the Browns the next week and we lost to the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Browns traded him off. Everybody gave him crap, and now that GM is in our I don't know, in our front office. I forget who it is. Forget his name, but he traded off Trent Richardson.
Oh yeah.
And then we go play the Cleveland that next week, and we lose to them. It was one of the worst freaking losses. We were favored big time against them, and we ended up losing to fucking Cleveland. Anyway.
All right, everybody, it's getting about that time. Get those hashtag Skols in to win the Jordan Addison Prism rookie card. Hashtag Skols. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel Minnesota Sports Talk with Dave and our channel GG Sports Podcast. We'll get this rolling here in a second. Let's see what we got. 13. Let me bring this bad boy up. Got to be here to win. Everybody knows. Got to be here to win.
You got about 3 slides into your slideshow.
Yeah, down below. It's getting messy down there.
No, I'm just saying we got about 3 slides into your
slide yeah, I know. We had
we walked down memory lane of inept drafts.
Right. And then NFL draft, we did more than cover that, at least for quarterbacks. Pretty much only quarterbacks. But that's how it is. I mean, I guess right now I think all of us are on like, hey, if we can move up and go grab one of the top 3 quarterbacks, go ahead and do it. But if not, as far as right now until the combine happens, if we get sit at 11, either trade back or go at whatever's the top defensive player there for us, probably a defense, some sort of pass rusher. I think that's, as far as I know, at 11, that's more than likely. Like some people have Murphy there and stuff like that, but I don't know if I'm convinced that he should be deserving to go 11 yet. So I think I'd take my chance on one of the guys, one of the pass rushers like Verse or Dallas Turner. And then cornerbacks is obviously a big need still, but I don't really think there's a cornerback worth taking there yet either. So I don't know, probably a pass rusher, trade back, grab a quarterback there. In my opinion, right now, if I was to do that, it'd be JJ McCarthy or wait until the second round to grab him or trade up for him, whatever. But we'll see. The idea of Kwesi trade, it does. Because you never know. I just, except for trading up, like let him trade up. Like,
this guy is also going to take your quarterback if you don't trust him. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's why this year, after this draft, is when I'll start to kind of judge how things go. Like, because if I don't know, we'll see. I'm not worried about it. He's gonna do what he has to do, and it's fine. So,
all right, let's run this thing. We got 14 entries. Got to be here to win. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Who do we got tonight? Boom. Let's see. Gary. I see Gary in there. He's been on a heater. But it's oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ.
Gary, are you here?
Oh my goodness, Gary.
Last time I didn't even ask if Gary's here. Oh, Gary's here.
I saw you won on your Monday show.
Yeah, he
did. Gary is on an absolute roll right now, man.
My guy Gary with another W. That's crazy.
He did tell us he was going to go on.
He was going to hit a streak here. No, I won't do. I was going to say I wanted to make sure this thing's not broken. Gary like hacked into my stuff or something.
Probably like the YouTube probably just the app probably just tells who comments most.
It was Joey. I'm pretty sure it doesn't show all the names.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't see my name the other night.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't show all the names when it goes through there, but you're still in it. Because sometimes, I mean, you could have 100 people in there, and you're not going to see 100 names, you know?
Zoe, what's going on? You hopped in right.
Hey, what up, Zoe?
2013, EJ Manuel, number 16 to Buffalo. That was the first quarterback taken.
Oh, yeah.
The next quarterback, Geno Smith.
Oof. I remember that.
Second round.
Such a terrible freaking, talk about a bad trade.
Yeah, EJ Manuel, man, what a joke.
But we took
oh dang,
Sharif Florid, Xavier Rhodes, and Cordero Patterson, and I thought Super Bowl.
All right.
Oh my God.
What? I'll run one more card here.
And one of those guys worked out for like 3 years.
Man, I think I think Sharif Floyd would have been special.
Yeah, it could have been.
It's crazy. He goes in just to get his knee scoped, and they try to do some crazy ass surgery on him.
We'll run one more. One more. I haven't done 2 in a while. Hashtag
Jamie,
Skols,
that
like the
one's got
video,
tape over
subscribe
it.
if you haven't already. All that good stuff. We'll do
Jamie,
one more.
that one's got tape over it. People can't see it.
It's a Jordan Addison rookie card.
Oh,
I could take the tape off, but it's what it is. It's safe. You know that for sure, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But no, we'll run one more because next Wednesday, we won't be on. It's Valentine's Day, and then
My
the following
son's birthday.
and Dave's son's birthday, and then the next following Wednesday, I'll be gone, so I won't be here. Yeah, we'll still have our show on Monday, but
Maybe
might as well do.
Maybe I'll go solo next Wednesday. I got no plans.
Yeah, you could.
Kidding.
If I win this one, give it to Mafia. Sounds good. Mafia hit a heater at one point, but all right, let's run it right away again.
Give away a date.
How to do it?
Give away a date with Casey on Valentine's Day.
There's all dudes in here. No thanks.
All right, let's do it again. Skol for life. Barber's my son's birthday as well.
We'll see, Dylan. We'll see. Maybe.
Turn up, Casey. Dylan will turn in. We'll see. No pressure. But here we go. 3, 2, 1. Who we got? Jordan Addison times 2.
Do that too.
1. And you have to be here to win. You got to be here to win.
Joey's picking up Casey at 8 a.m. on February 14th.
No,
or 8 p.m. February 14th.
There you go, Joey. Dinner. I told you were in here. I told you we were in there, Joey. Let's go.
Hey man, I could just sit in front of the camera and drink beer next Wednesday too. I'm fine with that.
Joey, bring flowers and chocolates.
Yeah.
Or an edible arrangement.
Arrangement. Some edible arrangements. I did that for my wife for our last year's anniversary.
Oh, Cheech and Chong got edibles now. It's on every freaking Twitter commercial I look
Everybody has edibles.
Edible arrangements. There's no flowers anymore.
It's just
a bowl of some edibles.
Yeah, it used to be edible arrangements that were actually fruit shaped as flowers or whatever. Now it's like, do you mean edible arrangements or do you mean edible arrangements?
You got to be careful when someone gives you edible arrangements for sure.
The hub is going to be very popular that day. Yeah, that's a fair point too.
It is. Cousins cap hit next Wednesday. KC. I mean, Casey, if anyone loves to talk about Kirk Cousins, it's him.
Yeah. Love it.
But all right, everybody. Hey, we thanks everybody for hopping in here. Got 2 cards giveaway. We've went all over the place. Definitely talked about some offseason stuff. That was the whole point of this episode. But yeah, appreciate everybody being in here. All that good stuff.
Absolutely. Maybe see you guys next week. We'll decide. I'll decide.
No pressure. Actually, peer pressure. Yeah.
Peer pressure. Do it.
Skol
All right, see you guys later.